There is value to our existence. There are reasons why each of us are born. Our quest to discover those reasons. There are two greatest days of our lives. The first, the day we are born. The second, the day we discover why. Sometimes a man, mature, attentive, never ending, reaches his destiny on a road he chooses not to walk upon. How far will a point of view and belief system go to prove dominion? Swatika, welcome and greetings to all of you who have taken the time to view part 8 of my 12-part series of Shut Up and Dance. The title of today's show is The Ultimate I. Does the choice come to you, or do you make the choice? In other words, as human beings, we are socially interactive. We are social animals. We live and thrive on exchange and communication between us, among us. We give and take depending upon who we're speaking to or listening to. So with that in mind, I then take a look at the ultimate I. That characteristic which on its base all of us possess. Do you make the choice, or does the choice make you? The first examination, I will use the world of business. And I have two examples. The first, Warren Buffett. The second, Rupert Murdoch. Both of these men are paragons in the world of business. Each of them struggled to get to the top. However, one portrayed one avenue and the other portrayed a second avenue. Are there any similarities with regard to these paragons of business? Yes. Number one, they were involved in business. Are there any major differences? Well, we can consider the road or the means in which they attained their capital. One through investments, building an engine, the other through journalism. Each seeking the booty of business, i.e., money. But exactly how was this acquired? In the case of Rupert Murdoch, he chose journalism. He sensationalized. He was scandalous, salacious, yellow press upon its most vulnerable class of human beings with no hold-barred approach, even with his hands were caught in the cookie jar. Recall the Acorn incident? It was investigated by state authorities. And after that, he still did not do no wrong. I.e., just like a celebrity who some time ago was doing a radio interview. And during the course of this interview, he bluntly, with command and performance, stated, "I am God." Oh, say, by the way, may I just say the prominence of death for selfish material gain. Do you? Oh, say, by the way, may I just see today? Life is as valueless as expectorating snot on the pavement. Do you? Oh, say, by the way, may I just delay? Promiscuity required for intimate social interaction. Do you? Oh, say, by the way, may I just be away? Look at me! Anatomy, physiology, psychology. Do you? Oh, say, by the way, may I just stay? How can you have liberty when chattel are the minions? Do you? Oh, say, by the way, may I just pay? Our individuality is not entirely our own. Do you? Oh, say, by the way, may I just say, see today, delay, be away, stay, pay, anyway, do you? Do you make the choice, or does the choice make you? In the law, there is a contention. Number one, there is the principle of the letter of the law versus the intent of the law. I submit this poem, The Reel of 1775, as an example of the letter of the law for the preamble to the Constitution of the United States of America. We, the chosen, sovereign, melanin-less, male only, with dominion over chattel of the states, in order to form a perfect mind-cough union, establish Willie Lynch letters, justice, and ensure segregation, domestic tranquility, provide for the ghost society's common defense and ordered welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to our privileged, egocentric, self-centered, society's prosperity do ordain and establish this united, privileged states of melanin-less America, the real of 1775. Now, were our founders prescribing at this moment in time to exist as long as the rationale of the rule of law is abided by and for to apply to all men, God-fearing, to the pursuit of life and liberty. The value of the over-the-top to some, but in actuality, the knowledge of standing comes into play. In other words, did our founders allow on point the right for all men who seek no barrier to citizenship to be, we, at 1775, men of stature, exclusive only? Do you make the choice, or does the choice make you? At its core, the value is our place in relationships. No family, no soul. I hearken the example of a story by William Golding. The title of the book is Lord of the Flies. Now, the story is set. There were a number of children embarking from their private school en route to summer vacation. And along the way, the plane crashed. For some reason set up by the author, Mr. Golding, none of the adults survived. So therefore, all these children came ashore. Now, once a roll call were taken, then the delegation and the way the young men approached at trying to survive, and who was going to assume authority, and who, in other words, who was going to be the chief, and who were going to be the Indians. Now, a conflict arose between two individuals, both of status and stature, however, one more appealing due to the fact he was a sports type person and the other just in stature alone. The beauty of this story is the interaction, the process that took place with these young men, who I might add, were at the ages where young men ascend to manhood, between the ages of 10 and 12. And because of that background, there is a nature naive to some, however, not naive to all, in which brings this story forth as we see how all of these children, young men, interacted and what was the cause from one decision to the next decision to the next decision until the final conflict occurred. Several young men formed their own group And then you had the majority in another group. Each group led by the individuals identified at the beginning with their personal conflict. The ending is rather stark and dark from this standpoint. It came to a confrontation in which the larger group sought out on hunting parties to kill those who were not in the group. And at the moment before the knife was wielded, authority showed up. A search party arrived at the spot at the moment before death could enter. And at that moment, the young lads immediately responded to authority. So what is the point of this story by William Golding? There has been a lot of debate and words expressed as to this, that, or the other. I subscribe to the view that this was a story to try to utilize and prove man's basic nature. At base, man is an animal. And therefore, this story shows, with authority missing and left to our own devices, is man then basically depraved? Do you make the choice, or does the choice make you? Now, with our social interaction that occurs simultaneously, various groups, various individuals, both of a firm, for instance, a professional, and not. And what is funny is, we can give respect, honor, confidence, truthfulness, tribute, and not be afraid of our individual privacy with our discussion with these individuals, because it is upheld to a fault. And who would you think fits into that group? Well, I would say doctors, for one. I would say lawyers, for two. I would say members of the clergy of all faiths. What is troubling is that we can concede and give that to them, thus giving us for their service to us, we, to the optimum level of what a man can exchange to a man, in God we trust that relationship. Are we that cheap, weak, that we cannot demand that relationship, interaction of ourselves and to each other? Feed me till I stop? Do you make the choice, or does the choice make you? Can one, just anyone, hold a candle to you? Are you the dream the ting, the world can't get along without you? Are you, the squirrel, got his nut, and that's all there is about you? The world is your oyster. Ours is not to reason why. Ours is only to do or die. Can one, just anyone, hold a candle to you? You lackluster maggot, prostituting value, prostituting relevancy, feasting and yeasting evermore on the cretin efficacy you created as brilliance. Can one, just anyone, hold a candle to you? Are you the dream, the ting the world can't get along without you? Are you the squirrel got his nut, and that's all there is about you? The world is your oyster. Ours is not to reason why. Ours is only to do or die. Can one, just anyone, hold a candle? Do you? And in conclusion, that brings us to the final question. Do you make the choice, or does the choice make you? Swati.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
The wall. Etched in the garden of granite stone lingers the memory of my countrymen's ultimate sacrifice during a tumultuous time of stress and strife. Out went the call for protections against the vilification of communism's reputation, only to be accused unjustly by society through fatal causal generalization. Preserve we must, and steadfastly we accepted the trust, just to fall prey to the 1850s covered wagon slogan, boom or bust. To our country we gave, to thee our hopes, our pain and integrity, in order to protect and defend our country's legacy. In memory of you etched in this stone, forgive our past mistakes and transgressions, for through the firefights, the sorties, by dawn's early light, you gave all that a man can give in order to secure our democratic way of life. Duty.
Fire. Ready.
honor, country,
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now